The 12 links all start here with forgetting. Forgetting is the fundamental split that forges the rest of the chain. So, what are we forgetting? We're forgetting to be fully in the present, fully in the embodied moment, and we're forgetting to see clearly. And what that means is we're not here with exactly what's happening, unfiltered, free of our delusions, free of the stories we tell ourselves, free of our patterns, our habits, our compulsions. Forgetting is all about getting caught in the trance, living inside of our own stories, our own interpretations, our own version of reality, and forgetting who we really are. Forgetting to be in the present is the first condition of suffering. All of our experiences of reality begin to get their flavor here because every other link depends on us forgetting. So if we break this link, the whole chain falls apart. It can't even get forged. That's what's so elegant is that all we have to do is remember. Across this course, I'm going to use a metaphor of playing a video game. Each of the 12 links has a pretty good analog to some aspect of playing a game. And in the first link, forgetting, it's like we're playing a game, but we've forgotten that we're playing one. We've gotten so immersed in the world, the character, the goals, the rewards, achievements, the quests, and the story that we forget the whole thing is programmed. It's built by somebody. We forget that the whole thing is like running on scripts and code. And as long as we completely buy into the game world, all the suffering of the character feels like our suffering. If the character gets hurt, we feel hurt. If the character fails, we feel like we failed. And if the character's story is threatened, we feel threatened. But the moment we remember, oh, this is a game, the trance breaks. Then we have a choice of whether or not to play. We can still play. We can still immerse ourselves. We can still care about the story if we want to, but it's no longer compulsive. We're no longer hypnotized by it in the same way. We have a sense of agency. And then we can enjoy the game again. This is important because the point of our practice is not to reject life. It's not to stop playing. It's to remember what we're doing so that we can participate more freely, more fully, and more joyfully. And in one sense, all we have to do is just be fully in the present. Just drop everything and be here right now. It's actually that simple. You don't even need to finish the rest of this course. You could just do this. That said, learning to identify the links can help us identify and investigate our lives with more precision. Forgetting shows up for us as believing our version of reality. The mind has an interpretation and we take it as true. A reaction arises and we take it as justified. A thought appears and we get caught in the loop or path of it. Our personal stories get written and we write ourselves into it. And when that happens, there's no gap. There's no space between what's happening and what we think is happening. We don't recognize, oh, this is a filter. Wait, this is just one of my patterns. Oh, I'm making up a story about this. Oh, I'm adding something to this. We just think this is reality. This is life. And then the rest of the links start moving. But it all starts with this, with forgetting. One of the primary ways forgetting shows up in our experience is when we feel like we are living compulsively, addictively, habitually on autopilot. We feel like we're living in a trance, like we don't have any agency or control. We're just subject to the whims of our own feelings, thoughts, habits, reactions. And a lot of the time, this comes with a feeling of disembodiment. So, whenever I talk about being in the present moment, I'm talking about being in all of it, not conceptually, all of it. And that includes that which we don't want to get closer to. So let's look at how this shows up in real life. Say we're in a conversation and someone says something. We have an instant interpretation. They don't respect me. They're upset. They feel a certain way about me. They meant something by that. And once that interpretation appears, we can enter a kind of trance. We flow into the conversation from inside our story, inside our version of reality, without even realizing that's what happened. We're no longer simply here with the person, our body, the room, their words, the feeling in the moment. We're inside our interpretation. So, what can we do instead? Come back to what's actually happening. Be in the moment. Feel your experience. Feel the body. Feel the connectedness, compassion, heart, and love that are available in every moment. And if we're simply here, our interpretation doesn't have the same pull. It doesn't have the same ability to drag us into a trance. We don't have to see the moment only through our own version of reality. We can recognize, oh, this is a story I'm telling, or I'm acting out a pattern, or oh, I'm adding something to this. And that can actually bring us back to feeling, sensing, presence. And we do this over and over. Come back. Be where you are. Over and over. Just come back to being completely in the body, in our experience, exactly right where we are. So for each of the links, I will be discussing the trapped versus freed version, imprisoned versus liberated. So how do we get trapped by this link? The trapped version of forgetting is that we start to think our interpretation of experience is actual reality. There's no gap. And when there's no gap, falling into a trance is easy. Our stories just take over before we even realize it. The body enacts our old conditioning. Our reactions are on a hair trigger. Suddenly, we're not really in the moment anymore. We're inside our version of the moment. That's the trance. Caught without knowing we're caught. But this link can also be freed. In the freed version, we may notice some of the same conditions. The body still goes through its processes. Certain reactions might still show up, and our stories may still start to form. But if we stay remembering rather than forgetting, we can recognize what's happening without the same gravity. We don't get pulled so quickly into habits, and we don't get caught so completely in the trance if we get caught at all. And in that noticing, there may even be some humor, even if it's dark humor. Not because everything is funny or that pain is funny, but because we keep seeing the same tired old habits showing up again and again, just doing what they do. And sometimes what else can we do but laugh? There's that old pattern. There's that trance wanting to trap me again. There's that old me trying to make the whole thing solid again. And if we can see it, we don't have to become it in the same way. In the freed version, we see this whole individual life as part of the world, part of the universe, the whole field of experience. We're not outside of life trying to control it. We're not separate from the moment, trying to manage it from a distance. Instead, we're here in the body, in the universe. And being in the universe, we feel space, mindfulness, freedom. So let's practice together. Just take a moment and look around you. Be in the present moment. Notice how we can just be here without needing to add any stories. There's nowhere to go, nothing to be, nothing to change. Just experience whatever is here now. Add nothing to experience. If you have a sense that a pattern or trance or habit is trying to pull your attention, just keep coming back. See if you can catch the moments where raw noticing becomes something else. When a sensation starts to harden into a problem, when a thought starts to harden into reality. See if you notice when some aspect of experience crystallizes into identity or story. That hardening or crystallization is what we're here to notice and catch. So just sit with experience. Let all of it arise. As you recognize aspects of your experience showing up, like thoughts, labels, patterns, sensations, that's fine. Just recognize it and let it go. Just know that we can access this anytime. All you gotta do is remember. Forgetting is the only way we ever get from the present moment into the rest of the chain. So if you had an experience in this session of being fully in the present, even for a moment, you've already started breaking the chain. You know what it's like to pause and notice. This is the foundation for everything else. So keep remembering. I'll see you in the next link.